Morning folks, how are you? It's going to be a cracking day. I can tell. It's nice and warm, eh? I mean, I've still got my t-shirt on. That's amazing. Considering the last couple of days it's not been that warm in comparison. So we're still on our vlog about ways the busiest people ever avoid burnout. Just reading from my notes. We'll finalise that off, and then we'll talk about 13 ways to prevent burnout before it actually happens. Because there's a lot of information out there and key strategies that can help you avoid burnout. And it's good to share. It's good to share with everyone else. So if you get a chance, hit that share button and comment if you like. And like, you know, it gives it more social reach. A lot more people see it as a result of it. At the end of the day, the more people that get involved, the better it is. So just finishing off, I mean, build a great team. So Aaron Schwartz of Modify Watches actually says, build a great team. Morning, Sarah. I used to think vacations would recharge me, but I would come back to piles of work. That's kind of how I used to feel. Morning, Deborah. You'd come back to piles of work just because you go on vacation. The quantity doesn't matter. The key is that you have a strong team. I know that whether I'm working or whether I'm not, great things are being done in the background. And I kind of think that's how I feel. You know, I've got a fantastic team that work in the background all the time and make sure it all happens and communicate with our customers on a daily, if not 24-hour basis. You know who you are, Jimmy, Anne-Marie. Feeling the support from all sides has been critical to my personal happiness, and that's what Aaron says. And finally, Derek, meditate daily. So even if it's just for 10 minutes, spend time, especially early in the afternoon, to just breathe. And it's been extraordinarily powerful to me, he says. It keeps me fresh and sharp, and taking care of myself seriously sets a great example for the rest of my team. And I think that's probably the key, is just to take that moment, especially in the afternoon, because the afternoon's quite a challenging time, because you've basically gone full pelt all morning, and you need to take that breather in between, just to relax and settle down, and then get yourself ready for the afternoon. So yeah, meditate for 10 minutes if it helps you. It's a fantastic way to do things, and it rejuvenates you just for that afternoon charge again. Rhinoceros Success, fantastic book. That's just when I mentioned the word charge. Great book. If you ever get a chance to read it, helps you develop thick skin for rejection. So we're on to 13 ways to prevent burnout before it actually happens. So this is from the Forbes Coaches Council. So when you work long and hard hours without taking time to recharge, you'll inevitably stop being effective at what you do. This burnout can leave you feeling tired and resentful. That's why it's important to recognise the early signs, so you can pace yourself and continue to be effective at your job. So these Forbes Council people were asked 13 members of the Forbes Coaching Council for their best advice on avoiding burnout. And these are the tips that came back. So Kathleen Woodhouse of the Nova Leadership actually said, watch for warning signs. Now I say this quite a lot. Morning, Joanna. It's the wee trigger points you watch for. It's happening, and you know the inevitable is coming if you don't actually take control of the situation. So burnout means different things to different people. Most of us recognise our own triggers and can often ignore them. Rely on taking out too often. Perhaps you could leave the office a bit earlier each day. If you start snappy and irritable with friends, maybe the root cause could be an issue at work. So watching for reactions that are misaligned to the current situation is a clue that burnout may be just around the corner. And I often look at that myself, and I often understand that, and I do have wee triggers that I recognise because I've been quite self-analytical of what I do. So hopefully that'll help you if you analyse it. And we spoke about it in the past, about all these triggers that happen as a result of when you start to recognise you're snappy, irritable, you're getting to that point where you're getting critical, you're getting angry, and then to recognise all these wee triggers that lead up to that and try and combat that and eliminate it before it actually happens. so you don't go to that high level of stress. Remember, your body as well actually creates cortisone, which causes when we cause stress. And cortisone can actually be quite addictive in your system. So it inevitably leads to you doing it continuously again and again and again in order to get that cortisone hit, because it releases it because of stress. It's evolved. So it works towards that to get it. So just be aware of that and watch out for it. Morning, Alana. So Kmart Shai, actually, the World Consulting Group actually says prioritise your time. There is really no secret in preventing burnout. Much like any other project, it's all about prioritisation and time management. If tasks are properly planned and delegated and executed, there is no need for anyone to be overwhelmed or overworked. Couple that with poor time management, or proper time management in that case, and the burnout issue will be unlikely to surface. That's great advice when you think about it. It's all about making sure your time is allocated to the right resource, morning, Anne-Marie, in order to avoid that, and also delegate tasks to other people in order to help you out. Many hands make light work. You can't do all yourself. I sometimes have to tell myself that, myself. Most of these people are actually watching me, especially Andrea, going, maybe you should take your own advice. Morning, Andrea. And finally for today, Billy Williams of Arcarios says, use your vacation. We spoke about it the other day. As someone who's been historically terrible at taking time off, I can say that one of the most effective means to prevent burnout is to use whatever vacation or leave time you are presented with. Take a vacation and drop off the grid regularly. Turn off email and mobile notifications and focus on enjoying time off. Every time I've done this, he says, I've found that my stress levels stay low and I feel refreshed. And this is exactly what I do every single morning before I start. I just have that wee switch. I don't know about you, but I sometimes wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and my brain's going hell for leather about thinking about all the things I need to do for the next day. Morning, Craig. So I take the time out and I have this wee space in between, which I go out for this walk every single day, and I go down the beach and I walk 5k and I pick up some litter, and it makes me feel rejuvenated. And it's just a good start to the day, nice and relaxing. And I think that's the most important lesson I could tell everybody about what I've learned about just to have that wee break. I've been asking everybody what's the best time of day to go out walking. For me it's 7:30 a.m. For some people it's 5 a.m, the 5 o'clock gang. For others it's the afternoon break in between your lunchtime, and for the others at night time. I'd be interested to hear from yourself what you think is the best time of day to go out for a walk. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30.